Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Dougie Fresh. Dougie, I don't know when the last time we've done a show together, but glad to have
I
you on.
don't know. I'm beginning to take it personally. So
It's nothing personal. Trust me. Trust me. But for your best interest, it's probably been better that it hasn't been me.
shoot, dude, you were on fire, throwing heat. You came in throwing 97 last night. It was awesome.
You know, I was frustrated last night. There's been a lot of buildup, and last night it felt like it just came spewing because it was just terrible, pathetic baseball on display. Today, though, the Pirates get a victory. The Pirates win 8-2 in Colorado. They do win the series. They're now just 3 games under 500. If you want to go that route. But like it was one of those games where, you know, of course, coming after losing 16-4, we weren't sure who's going to pitch today. Josh Fleming gets announced. Oh boy, buckle up, Doug. that
I would
my
like
impression.
you were frustrated yesterday by a lot of awful, pathetic baseball. And we still got that today. That did not go away. We won the game. We won the series, but it was not a great performance overall. I mean, yeah, you got the win. I guess it's baseball and you play it one game at a time, blah, 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 blah. But man, as I said to you earlier, the flaws of this team were still, quite apparent in this game as well, even though it was a comfortable win.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely discuss all factors of this 8-2 victory. Before we do, let's go and let you know, of course, that BetOnline is your number one source for NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, of course, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, the game starts here. Where do you want to start with this game, Doug?
I mean, I think you have to start with Fleming, right? I mean, we didn't know until 2:15 who was starting our 2:10 game, right? I think the Pirates had 2 hitters had already made outs before we finally realized it's going to be Josh Fleming. So
there you go.
And I don't think anybody gave a big sigh of relief. Oh, great, it's Fleming. But he did it. I mean, he did the job. He did fine. He did really, really well. He got 4 innings. I mean, it's a bad Rockies lineup. It looks very similar to the Pirates lineup. A bunch of guys, under, OPSs of 600 and batting averages under 200 and that sort of thing. But he just worked his way through them and just grinded it out. It did a good job. So it is ridiculous that we've had 2 bullpen games out of 3 games in the series, but those were the 2 games we won.
2 victories. Right. And the start that Jared Jones makes is the one that they lost 16-4.
Yeah. So
right. Baseball. So here's what I want to say about Fleming. I mean, it was fantastic. He did more than I think anyone could have expected. He went 4 innings, actually went out for the 5th, gave up 2 hits in the 5th, was pulled, rightfully so. But I mean, the fact they were going to get him into the 5th, I think it was 4 innings at 48 pitches. At that time, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. I mean, just again, understand it's a Rockies lineup. There is some talent at the top of the Rockies lineup. I mean, this is kind of like very much the Pirates, which is, again, part of the problem we're talking about. The Pirates shouldn't have a lineup that mirrors this, but the top part of the lineup for the Rockies is actually pretty decent. It just falls off a cliff on the second half. But again, Fleming goes out there. He performs very, very well. And again, goes out for the 5th inning, gave up two hits. They called it a day. Turns up with 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, but no runs. It was, again, this is to a degree what you brought in Fleming for, right? When you look at his past, not just a reliever, but he was like that opener, starter, whatever you want to call it, because it wasn't just like just an inning. He would go a little bit of length there as well. So yeah, he gets called back up by the Pirates. There's a need, and he does everything and more that you could expect for him to do.
Yeah, I mean, again, none of us expected that, and we would have been happy with 3 innings and 2 runs, type, like, what I'm saying, just keep us in the game type thing, and he he did outstanding work. He wasn't getting a lot of support from the bats. And he just, he went out and he did his job. He did exactly, he did more than he was, supposed to. So, outstanding job by him. Once again, the Pirates management gets rewarded for, it's really kind of a bad decision, but it worked out. So
it did work out. To add on, this is also why I just didn't really understand the DFAing of Fleming to begin with. This bullpen isn't that deep as we're experiencing right now. We can, and I'm not going to get a tangent, but this is why that was kind of confusing. Like the Rowanzy and the Fleming DFAs, you need some arms. Luckily, Fleming was able to be, retained in the organization, and again, paying dividends today. So yeah, outstanding start by Fleming here. Again, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts. Hand the ball over, right? Hands the ball over to Mlodzinski.
Yeah. And he does exactly, exactly what you want him to do, exactly what he was doing late last year. Different than what he was doing earlier in the year, which is just a great relief. We need Mlodzinski. We need him to be that bridge to the back end of the bullpen, and he has been doing that as of late. He came in, he gets the double play, an outstanding job. He did it efficiently. So right, again, if you're scripting, this is the Ben Cherington script, is working out perfectly. As Tyler likes to say, I think he's dancing through raindrops, but today it worked. So,
yeah, like you say, Carmen Mlodzinski was the guy that you were relying on for this year. We know how the back end was going to be. It's going to be David Bednar. It's going to be Chapman. It's going to be Halderman. And of course, there was, other guys of injuries out there, but like Mlodzinski was definitely going to be part of like those middle innings. And obviously the injury happened. He goes down to AAA to begin the year. He gets called up, not looking good at all. There's a lot of worrisome going on, but hey, he's calmed down. Now he's been like the opener, right? He's done this job not really the job of Fleming today, because Fleming does go 4 innings, but like he's done the opener. Luis Ortiz come in, Mlodzinski's done very well in that role. But honestly, since May 31st, 11.2 innings, 1 earned run. He's like settled down quite a bit. Are you trusting Mlodzinski more? Is he becoming that guy that you felt like you wanted to see?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel pretty comfortable with him. I mean, it's always weird when those guys sort of they get hurt late in spring training, early in the season. There's just it never seems to go too smoothly. And that seems like what happened to him. I mean, he looked really good last year. Again, like you said, we knew what the back end of the bullpen was going to be, but you also know, and this seems like the Pirates haven't figured it out yet, but is that you can't pitch those 3 guys every single game. Occasionally, you're going to need a Mlodzinski, or at the time we're counting on Barucki or Moretta, but you're going to need one of those guys to pitch a 7th or an 8th inning, because the other 2 guys just went 2 games in a row. So it's nice seeing what we're getting from Mlodzinski, and again, just based on matchups, maybe you prefer to see him in the 7th inning instead of Chapman. Maybe it's 3 righties or something along those lines. You would like to have that bullpen flexibility that we've seemed to really lack, and unexplainably, like how we've, like you said, we've been so cavalier with that. Let's just DFA a reliever. Let's just, let's send a guy down.
Yeah.
And sure, we need relievers, but we'll be fine. We'll get through today, I'm sure.
Right.
We got, we've got 4 whatever. Most of our starters are not going 7 innings. Let's, be honest. We've got 2 rookies that they're going to handle carefully. We should expect 5 innings to start. Falter, by and large, is not going to be giving you bulk innings. The only one we can sort of count on for that is Keller, and he's not always the most efficient, right? I mean, he's good for 6 innings. He's good for 5 every single game. But
right.
To expect any more than 6 out of him is a little, being a little greedy, I suppose.
Yeah, sure, and I mean that's fine, But again, that's why you need depth, and I feel like this entire team is a lot of like the scrubs and stars. Now, loosely saying stars here, right? But it's like a lot of good players and then just a lot of like really, really bad players. And that's kind of the problem because the bad players have to be brought in into big spots sometimes, and they're going to lose you games.
Right.
So right, like that's why today Mlodzinski goes 2 perfect, right? 18 pitches thrown into, and he comes in and it wasn't a clean inning. That's another thing. Like, is another test. He's been recently starting off games, right? So it's very clean, obviously. But now he has a moment where he comes in. There's no outs, 2 guys on, because that's where Fleming ends. Into the 5th inning.
Right.
How's Carmen going to handle this? How's he going to handle 3 quick outs, right? And then he goes another inning, 3 quick outs. So, like, can Carmen Mlodzinski, like, he had his early struggles. There's concerns. You know who else did? David Bednar, who wasn't looking right at the beginning part of the season either. Maybe Carmen just needed that month as David Bednar needed his month to just get back. And it seems as if at this point in time, he's back.
I hope so. It's very dangerous as a Pirate fan to make proclamations that somebody is back.
Right. And understand where I'm coming from. Like, this isn't just like, Carmen Mlodzinski's back. Yeah. We're going for it. Playoffs. Here we come type thing. It's just like, okay, now I'm feeling as comfortable about Carmen Mlodzinski as I would have if he didn't get injured coming into the year. I'm not ready to put him on this pedestal and say he's just, this elite reliever or whatever. But like, I'm good with placing Carmen Mlodzinski in the bad pile and into the good pile, relatively speaking, of Pirate relievers.
That's fair.
Okay. Now that I qualified that well enough for everyone to understand.
There could be 75 people on Twitter saying, "What does he say?" He's, So, you got to
75 people sometimes.
Yeah. We have to attach a caveat to everything. Or a disclaimer or something, right?
And just before we go any further, I just want to go break again. Everyone in the comments right now, in the chat, the Pirates did win. Yes, as you see right below Dougie Fresh here, comment #raise it for your chance to win 2 Primanti Brothers sandwiches. But yeah, so Carmen does his thing, leaves. The Pirates are rolling. The Pirates offense actually came alive a bit today as well. It wasn't so much that way at first, but then once the Pirates started getting to the Colorado Rockies bullpen, shall I say the ex-Pirates bullpen, they started cooking.
How do we know the Rockies are terrible? They've got 5 ex-Pirates.
That's usually a good reason to know. Yeah. How many Pirates are in the bullpen? It's going to be a victory.
Yeah, we got this one, right? Just got to get through that.
We're all too familiar with your people.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the Pirates, they saw the bullpen, and that's when the bats started coming alive. Thank God, because we've been talking good stuff. Let's get a little bit to the bad stuff. As we mentioned, right when Dakota was pitching and Dakota was making the Pirates offense look silly at first, Michael A. Taylor was at the bat. There was a guy on first and third.
Every time I looked at this screen, Michael Taylor was up to bat. But
it seemed that way, right?
Yeah.
But that inning starts out with Trillo gets a hit, Rowdy Tellez gets a hit. I'm sorry, Nick Gonzalez gets a hit. Then Rowdy gets a hit. So Bucs on the corners, no outs, Doug. How does this end? Just as we all would expect, right? So that's what I talked about. At this point in time, there are 2 outs. Michael A. Taylor's up the bat. Doug, what happened?
Well, firstly, I sent out a tweet that said first and third, nobody out equals the Pirates' kryptonite. Right? Now, I did not expect what I saw next. Right? It was Rowdy Tellez at first base, I believe, and Nick Gonzalez
the speedster,
at third base.
Rowdy Tellez.
So you had some, yeah, exactly, the cheetah. And there were so many things wrong with this, but yes, we try a delayed double steal. Again, you'd be mad at your T-ball team for this, right? This is not, now it shows you, it's so telling. It's like, okay, we know that we're not bringing these runs in. We know that Michael A. Taylor's not going to get a hit. We know that the guy after him is not going to get a hit, and we know the guy after that is not going to get it. So we have to try to steal one with. I mean, again, it was a dumb idea, and then of course it was poorly executed.
Right.
So I mean, it's just. Right. It's the kind of play that pisses you off at Charrington because we don't have any guys that can hit. And then it pisses you off at Shelton for like, I mean, dude, I know we're desperate, but like running into surefire outs is no way, I mean, it's the Rockies. Maybe they'll make an error. Maybe, so.
But like, that's the line of thinking. Like, you're trying to build your success off of other people's failures.
Yeah.
Right. And exactly, like, this is just where it's like the double-edged sword. The double-edged sword is Shelton's given a roster where when there's two guys on and your batter has 2 outs, who's a major league baseball player getting paid millions of dollars, real actual American dollars, right? And your best bet is thinking, you know what? I need the bat out. The best way to get this guy from third to score is to pull off this little league play that you probably don't practice. Clearly it shows because it doesn't seem like you practice too much. Clearly there's shown all year.
Not a lot of base running practice with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So you pull this off because of the roster construction you've been given, and because of bad ideas, you got to create more bad ideas to help mask those bad ideas to try to do something. And it's just poorly executed. It's bad. And of course, what happens? Rowdy gets into the rundown. The Rockies play it perfectly. Stallings gets Nick Gonzalez in the rundown, does it the third, and gets him out, and it's inning over. Guys, we're on the corners with 0 outs. And Doug, just as your tweet said, the Pirates kryptonite came through.
Yeah. It said that it's sort of a microcosm of this team, this whole season, right? It just sort of sums up that, right? You've got, I mean, we have the debate about Shelton all the time, and it's more Charrington's fault. What can he do with this roster? But I say all the time, like, he doesn't have a very good roster, but I don't think he utilizes it, as best he can either. So that was just, thankfully, we're not paid too much attention on the national stage, right? Because you think Will Craig was bad. Look what else we've been doing for you. We're not stopping there, boys. We've got we've got all sorts of interesting ways to make outs, and extend.
So what I'll say is, at that point in time, and again, the offenses on both sides weren't doing too much. You had Josh Fleming out there looking fantastic. You had Dakota out there looking fantastic. And it's just, what's going to happen? And you see that play, and then immediately you just feel like, here we go. Right. But that's not what happened, thankfully. So again, as talked about, Dakota couldn't go a complete game shutout. He was taken out of the game. The Rockies bullpen comes in, and the Pirates bats started attacking, started scoring runs in bunches. And at that point in time, there was, like I said, no turning back. Mlodzinski goes 2 innings, scoreless. At that point in time, the game was pretty much, I'm not gonna say out of hand. It's never out of hand enough for the Pirates to feel safe, not for Pirates fans to feel safe. And I'll tell you what, there was a moment in time in the 9th inning where it started to feel a little bit unsafe. But with that said, the Pirates handed over to Brule, handed over to Nicholas, and of course they do win the game. However, those 2 relievers give up runs. Everything we talked about with Fleming and Mlodzinski, I just feel is the complete opposite with the other 2, which I feel has been the talk of the other 2 for as long as we've been talking about them. Just
Nicholas got no help though. With Nicholas got Brule, I'm not, but Nicholas, we couldn't catch anything when he was out there. So he should have been out of that inning. He should have been out of that 9th inning clean, and we pirated it. So
that's fair. It is. I don't want to dump on Nicholas in this sense. It's not fair that he got an earned run in those 2. However, point being, 7 of his last appearances have had runs scored. 4 wild pitches in his last 11 appearances. And I feel like his whip is almost at like a 2 in his last 11 appearances. This is what you get with him. Like, yeah, 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, did have the 3 hits. I know it wasn't pretty, but he is the antithesis of Mlodzinski. I don't feel safe
No,
with Nicholas in
no
there. I
comfort
don't
level.
trust him. Not at all.
And especially when things start going wrong, that's out of his control. Like he's doing, but nobody would have been surprised if he'd given up, the 3-run bomb after that kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Which
like
he almost did.
Yeah, it like you said,
almost at the end, just foul. whatever. But yeah, almost did.
Right. Just like the game, we sort of have to accept the results because they did end positively. They were somewhat ugly, but it was a positive result in the end.
Yep. So all in all, though, the Pirates do only give up 2 runs today. Let's head over to the offense, though. Another good day for Kutch, 2 for 5. I mean, just talked about the guys had multi-hits. Kutch, 2 hits. Cruz had 2 hits. Nick Gonzalez had 2 hits. Trillo had 2 hits. Jack Sawinski had 2 hits. Pause. Deep breath.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't think you were going to skip somebody there. Wait a minute now.
Rowdy Tellez had 3 hits.
3 more hits, right? I think he's had more hits in June than he had in, April and May combined at this point. So.
He might have.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You went about 2. I said I feel like he does well when he's either very, very far north or very, very high up into the air. That's when he succeeds.
Yeah. I mean, Cincinnati, come on, that's a bandbox. Maybe he can keep it going.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, Rowdy did his thing too. 2 RBIs.
No, but that
had 2 RBIs. Jason DeLay had 3 RBIs. So everyone did their part today offensively.
Yeah, the bottom of the lineup. They're the ones that drove in the first runs. I mean, as things were when it was 1-0 or what have you, and it was I think Sawinski knocked in the first run, and then Rowdy maybe knocked in the next call. I mean, but it was. It kind of, again, it's one of those things that frustrates me. It's right. If we had just average hitters in those positions, right? If we had a first baseman with an OPS of 725 and a center fielder with an OPS of 725, that then the Gonzalez, Reynolds, Kutch, Connor Joe, Cruz kind of thing could kind of carry them. And but it's like, when you're only getting production from out of the top 3 or 4. It's hard. You need, you need, like I said, to be average. I'm not saying we need to go get Juan Soto. Let's go get McMahon there from the Rockies. Just a guy that's average. Yeah, just a guy that's average and consistent. Because we have a weird thing with both our pitchers and our hitters that they're hot, blazing hot for 2 weeks, and then it's just terrible. But like Sawinski, in the end, he sort of balances out. It's like you got fooled by the numbers last year, but it was all done in 3 weeks. Right? The rest of the time he just stinks.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. He loves Colorado, and first game hits the home run. Today has 2 hits. I don't know if there's going to be a spark for him. I pray it is, because this team needs good or at least average Jack Sawinski, right, to help that bottom part of the lineup that you're talking about. If that part can just be average, if Jack Sawinski can just be close to average, what a difference this lineup could be. Again, don't know if it's a spark, but he had a good game today. In the comments here, let's talk about it, because as we do over and over and over again, is Nick Gonzalez for real? Again, another 2 hits, right? Mentioned 2 for 5 today. Did have 2 strikeouts. Oddly enough, he was chasing at some pitches there late in the game. Unlike Nick Gonzalez, we'll let it slide. He's earned the opportunity to say, you know what, Nick,
game was kind of out of control. It's fine. Right.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's
get right back tomorrow into that disciplined approach.
But again, I mean, just Nick Gonzalez is just, he keeps doing it. It's been 5 weeks now.
5 weeks now, right? It's
5 weeks.
We're past that. Past that thing where the guy comes up from AAA and is great for 2 weeks, then it seems Andy Haynes, steals all that magic or whatever. But no, it's 5 weeks now. It's getting harder and harder to dismiss. I was saying that 3 weeks ago. So we'll see. Again, making proclamations about Pirate hitters, players, pitchers being back or for real or is very dangerous business. But man, he looks good, and it's great to watch. And what again, a positive, a success story for Nick and for the organization. I mean, because we did not expect this, coming into the season, right? I mean, we did not expect this at all. He almost looks like a guy that could win a batting title, right? Which is what we were sold for, at least during the draft process and round of the draft. 10
and I'll say this
professional career, we didn't think that, right? Quickly, he struck out like crazy. But
and what I'll say to that is, you know what? Even if it's not a batting title, air quotes, he looks something that's maybe not far better, but regardless, just as good. He just looks like a complete hitter. And that's what I think is just most important. Maybe he's not going to be like, the 340 slap hitter or whatever, but he just looks like a complete hitter. He's hitting for power. That's when he came into the system, the power's an uptick. The average fell down, kind of like what you're seeing with Tamar on a much more, less extreme, I should say, reason there. But he came into the system and he started hitting for power and the average is down. It's like, well, what's this Nick Gonzalez? This isn't what was advertised. Right? He's going to be a contact guy, a little bit of pop. And I think right now, again, like what you are seeing, he does have pop. He's hitting for average. He is just a complete hitter. As in the comments too, yes, the K rate is completely down. Like he just looks good. And we're talking offensively and defensively.
Yeah. He looks like a guy, it's going to make a couple all-star teams. Is going to have some real good seasons.
Yeah.
And that you could just count on, right? You're going to throw him somewhere in the middle of the lineup and he's going to produce, right? He's going to drive in runs. He's going to, do all the things you need, hit the ball, the gap, all that good stuff. So it's exciting and hopeful, and my fingers are crossed, and that's as far as I'm willing to go at this point.
But I do want to add here, right? As we're talking, it is 5 weeks. It is still going, he is on a 7-game hit streak. This also isn't just the 850 OPS and 311 batting averages fuel because of the first 3 weeks, and now he's cooled off the final 2. He is still he is just consistently day in and day out. He's hitting the ball. He is just hitting the baseball, looking good. I don't know how long it's going to last, right? I don't know if adjustment's coming soon, but he looks every bit of a good baseball player, and what a find and turnaround right now for the 2024 Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't look like a hot streak, right? It's not like he's having 2-3 hit games in a row, or he's getting a hit or two, every game. He's having good at bat. I mean, it just looks like this is what he is. It doesn't look, it's not all his games are in Colorado. It's not all against bad pitching. He just looks like a really solid hitter right now. So as you said, it'd be a great thing for the 2024 Pittsburgh Pirates if this continues.
Yep. And as Sean asks here, as we cleared up last week, I feel like, because I brought it up, he is not Rookie of the Year eligible. He misses it by 2 days, I feel like, being up here last year. So, yeah. So if you're looking up Baseball Reference, which is my mistake, it shows that he is not. Shout out to Anthony Murphy.
Paul Skeens for Rookie of the Year.
That one. for advising me that I was incorrect.
Yeah. But not going to let that slide. Neither is Murph.
No, which is all cool. I mean, I should be correct. But anyways, yeah. So he's not rookie eligible. But again, at any rate, this is looking for real. Is all this going to sustain? I don't believe so. But at any rate, he's 140 weighted runs created plus right now, I believe. Yeah, 134. So if it dips to a 115, 110, even 100 right now, that's more than you're expecting. And the defense looks better than I think a lot of us were expecting. So either way, he is looking like a complete player right now in a second base position, with that type of production. Like you're talking about the carts before the horse. I get that. But this is that performance where, there's definitely all-star appearances with that type of production.
Year of the Ben Cherington era, we've been saying, when will we answer the question at second base? And we've brought in 275 middle infielders that can't play shortstop, and have run
Yeah,
him
I haven't
through.
counted. I think the last I saw was 275. Yeah.
Yeah, it's close, right?
Yeah.
And so to end this season saying, hey, we've got left field, is good. We've got, shortstop, third, but whatever. And we've got a second baseman. We still don't have first baseman. We still don't have, center field. We still don't have a catcher, that sort of thing. But if finally, an answer to the question would just be fantastic.
Yes. No, absolutely. So again, good game by Nick Gonzalez. And again, like also a good game by O'Neal Cruz, right? Goes 2 for 5, gets his OPS up to a 737 right now. Hit a 405-foot double off the wall. Would have been a home run in, I believe, 18 ballparks, maybe 15 it was, something like that. Just absolutely crushed the baseball. Coors Field, large center field, goes 405 off the wall, ends up being a double for him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Jared Trill, like I mentioned, the 2 hits.
Jared Trill had the big RBIs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He had the
That's
double
what I was
earlier,
expecting from him at the beginning of the year, right? Like he's not this great hitter, but he always seemed to have a good at bats with guys on base, that sort of thing. And that sort of just went away, or at least the production did. So it was nice to see him, with those runners on, get the hit, and, get them in. So that's what we need. We need that kind of production.
Yep. And he played third base today because Cabrian had the day off. What I didn't discuss last night, because again, I was kind of in my vibe there. He played 2 games at shortstop. When Cruz is out, they had Triolo play shortstop. And again, I know he didn't play it today, but I just want to touch on that a little bit because that's why Jared Triolo is here, and he played shortstop well. I thought, his versatility, he can play short. You've seen him play short this year. He's played second. He definitely has played third base. And right, like you're talking about this type of bat, like it's not going to be a premier bat. I mean, we talked about if he can be Cabrian Hayes light, and trust me, Cabrian Hayes is pretty light. But if he can be Cabrian Hayes light, his versatility as a utility guy has value. So yeah, he can't be, just absolutely pathetic with the bat, right? Like I want to see more than a 575 OPS from him, but he does have a little bit of pop. Now, you would think he would have more than he does have, but he does have a little bit of pop there. If he can just get back to making better contact and just hitting the baseball, yeah, good stuff from him.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting now because we sort of went, from not having a lot of options at shortstop, but now they've played Nick Gonzalez there a couple times. Now they're playing Triolo there. You obviously have Cruz. It's like, all right, now we don't have to bring up an Alika Williams for a just in case, worst case scenario. So it's like, all right, if you have to, you can move Nicky G over, and he quits himself. I mean, again, we were told he couldn't field and that he would hit. And, as soon as he got up here, last year when he wasn't hitting at all, but still he fielded both second, third, well, and now he did quite well at shortstop too. So between him and Triolo, I think, and now again, Triolo does not have to be an everyday player. You can give him better matchups, that sort of thing, and you're going to get stellar defense. So, like I said, if he can hit a little, he'll be very valuable.
Yep. And just lastly, again, just touch in there because I have to. DeLay made his return yesterday, gets the start today. Thank God after Grandal's performance. But he does get the start today. Looked fine back there catching as he always does. But hey, big clutch hit. Bases were loaded. He gets a knocks, clears the bases. So he goes 1 for 3 today with a walk, 3 RBIs. Welcome back, Jason DeLay. I feel like your service is going to be much needed over the next few weeks. For sure.
I mean, last year I was saying he was the perfect backup catcher, but yeah, right now he gets maybe half a game off. right. I want him catching every game. Maybe let him take 3 innings off on a day game.
Right.
Game. Right.
I am with you. Yeah. So. All right, Dougie Fresh. Well, is it time to give away some sandwiches?
Absolutely, it is. People are hungry. They didn't get any sandwiches yesterday. They should. # raise it. Post it there in the chat. Haven't seen one in a while. There's one. just like Steve. Hashtag raise it. Spell it right. That's really the only requirement. We're not that tough here. But so hashtag raise it. How many we got? How many entries do we have?
Well, we only have 75 today.
Really?
So it's a little light. So again,
What's
this is your
going
last
on?
opportunity. Everyone hashtag raise it. Make sure your entry is in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're doing it. Because there's only 75 entries. 76.
That's crazy. Come on, get them in there because there's more people in this chat than that.
That's right.
Father's Day. Win yourself some sandwiches.
As we give everyone a few more moments here, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you haven't already as well, and tell your friends to join. Or if you don't have any friends, come on the podcast.
That's exactly how I got here.
Right. All right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and draw. 78 confirmed. Did I say Jeff Kent? Is Jeff Kent?
I did not see that.
Pitt City, what?
What? Congratulations.
Congrats. I think this is his second time. So kudos. Congrats to Pitt City. What? You're getting 2 more Primanti Brothers sandwiches. Go ahead, DM me as always, or email at norshore9@gmail.com. That way I can get your address and send you out these tickets. Doug, it's been a nice weekend. Cincinnati this upcoming week. These are the next games. We talk about how important the division games are. Paul Skeens Day.
Yeah, it's Paul Skeens. Very excited. Very excited to see Paul Skeens. As always. And we're 6 days away from the tailgate. I mean,
we are. We are.
Yeah,
there you go.
6 days. Like it's less than a week away. I'm excited.
That's right. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and RSVP. The link is in the description. And we'll see you in 6 days. The 22nd. Get yourself some Primanti Brothers sandwiches then too. Because it will be catered and sponsored by Primanti Brothers.
All right. Doing the live pod from there as well?
Actually, no. We'll be doing a live pod at Market Square after the game.
Okay.
The Market Square Primanti Brothers. We'll have our post-game show at.
Excellent. Should be fun. But that's got to be a win. They're going to throw us out.
Tell you what, if it's anything like the 16-4 outing as yesterday,
yeah,
I'm banning myself from doing the post-game show. For the sake of everybody.
Yeah, I'm just getting in the car and headed back. I'm just
there you go. Let's get out of here though. As always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, following along. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucs.